Okay, the reason why I make so many videos about the same thing over and over and over and over is because I want to continuously show the obvious pattern of what they've done to me. You're gonna hear the same thing over and over and over because these bottom feeders are gonna try to get you to subscribe. What I'm gonna say today is gonna sound so familiar. You're gonna be like, again? Yes. And it's gonna happen like that all the time. All the way there, you'll see a little thumbnail cover, and I'm scrolling down, and I see this picture, and this is about practical jokers or something like that. And I see this guy. I'm not even like, I'm just scrolling down fast. I'm seeing, and this young person, I'm not able to see truly because you only see like a little portion. She look really young. I don't know how young. And then I see like, oh, something about dead or something. It's like, oh, she's probably like a teenager. She look at mid-teenager, 16-year-old around that. Of course they're gonna start messing with me, but in my brain like, oh, maybe it's like, maybe she's not a teenager. Like, I'm okay, she's like a 16-year-old teenager, if that's if I have to guess her age. And so I look at the video, and the first thing you see is like a much younger girl, like a 9-year-old, 10-year-old. And so that's and then I'm like, okay, whatever, maybe after that there's gonna be that kid. And then they're like, well, maybe it's not, maybe she's not like a kid, maybe she's some, maybe it's something else. And I'm like, okay, let's see, maybe most likely she's the teenage kid or something like that. Then I see those pictures above. You're gonna see a bunch of pictures of this kid. She's a teenager, like I was saying, like I was guessing, 16-year-old, actually younger, 15-year-old. When you watch the videos, you see her even like 15, 16 years old. On the 17 I gave her. And the way they made me perceive this kid, oh my gosh. They make me look at her breasts in a sexual way. They look at oh my gosh, everything to make me perceive this kid in a sexual way. As always, as always, that's what they're gonna do. Obviously, I know it's them manipulating me. It doesn't take much for them to force me to perceive kids in this sexual way, because it doesn't take much for them to make me perceive kids that old in a sexual way, because what they do is like they look at something that can be sexual. And you heard the noise campaign, because as I was speaking, they kind of flip things around, and I'm supposed to be feeling guilty for the manipulations that they make me have, because they have this force of speech, right? So they force me to speak in different ways. What I'm trying to say, it's not hard for me to make, it's not hard for them to make me perceive older kids in a sexual way, because they do that to even younger kids. So this is actually like, it's harder on that part, because she's lived like 15, 16. She doesn't look like an adult at all. But they're gonna look at what they can create in a sexual way. Breasts. Okay. Maybe look at this kid's breast and try to create like a perception in a like adult, the way you would look at a woman. Now it's weird because she's still looking like a kid, but they try to make me look at her breast like an adult woman. And it was nasty. It was nasty. I had to take it. Like, they would try to like make me look at her breasts in this different sexual way. I'm like, that's crazy. But because she still looks like a kid. It's not somebody, once you see her like fully there, like she looks definitely like a teenager. 15-year-old, easy call. Right? You don't have to double guess. Maybe in the cover, maybe if you just go fast, but once you look at her, it's like, oh yeah, she's like a teenage kid. And it was obvious. They were trying to make me look at this kid's breast in this sexual way. They were trying to make me perceive her in this, like, everything they could make me imagine in a sexual way, they'll try. Her legs, they share like jeans, ripped jeans, and they try to make me like think of that in a sexual way. Now, that's nothing new in what they do. This is obviously the pedophilia things they do to me. They do that to all kind of kids, the older to the youngest. The youngest is the foulest, the oldest is foul, but it's not as foul when they do that to the youngest. And then they try to intimidate me into accepting this. That's why you hear this noise campaign. It's supposed to be like, oh, it's you. We listen to our bikes. We caught you. Now, mind you, this is almost my 1,000th video, right? These bikers are supposed to make me accept that this thing that I'm experiencing, that others have experienced, is happening to me organically. This is part of these intimidating tactics to get you to subscribe to this, because they have this nasty ability to force you to perceive things in these pedophilia ways, in these disturbing, perverted ways, pedophilia specifically. Now, I can easily look at a woman in a sexual way. What they do is, how I would look at a woman in a sexual way, they implement that toward children. So these like me teenagers, if they can create some perception toward this kid's breast and you make me imagine an adult woman, they will do that. That's what they do. And then they hear them try to gaslight me or make me subscriptive to this by intimidating me, by saying, you don't give it to him, torture him. I'd rather get raped. Go search for anything teenager. They force you to have these perceptions. This is the things they do. And then it even got to a point where it's like, oh, why did you take a while to guess, not to guess, to find, when looking at the cover of this video, why did it take you a while to process that this was a kid? Jesus. And that's the things that they go for. It's like, you're just delusional. You're looking for whatever you can to try to make me subscribe to the perfect things you make me experience. It's going to be like this. I can make 1,000 videos like that every day. The reason why I'm making it is because I want to show the pattern of what they do. If this is continuously happening, does it not mean something? It means they do these pedophilia things. And then you see these people on this side, as they're supposed to be doing, assigned to do the same things. Making noise campaign to try to make me feel subscriptive with this. And that's the pedophilia things they do. And then in my mind, they're having all kind of battles. Like, oh, but when you saw the thumbnail, you know, it took you a second, and then you had like some back and forth in your mind. Well, yes, because you made me have some back and forth. I was looking at it, like, that's like a teenager. Actually, I thought it was like a bit older teenager, maybe like a 17-year-old kid. Now, when I saw the video, it was even younger, 15-year-old, 15, 16, under 17 for sure. You see, like, she's a baby. It's like, oh, you see, it took me. And then once I started watching the video, the way they tried to make me look at her breast in these sexual, disturbing ways. And they've tried to frustrate me. I was like, what? You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to make sure there's a linear pattern of what they've been doing to me. If what I'm saying today can be applied to what I said 3 years ago about how they make me perceive things, this is my point. And then they go through the, oh, they give it to him, torture him, kill him. It's like, you think that's going to make me subscribe to this? Do you know why you're saying this? Because you think by saying that to me, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, no, it's me then. Of course I know what you guys do. And I know that you know very well that that's what you guys do. And I know the reason why this person is making noise campaign and trash, that these people that you see there, is because they want me to feel guilty for the manipulation that I've been talking about. Which is going to happen again if I see anybody who's a kid. They're going to try to force me to look at this kid in every sexual way. Oh, look at her breast. Try to make me imagine her in the sexual. Like, look at this obvious kid. Try to make me perceive this kid's breast like an adult woman. If there's anything they can create and make me imagine as a woman, they're going to try to do that. It's nasty. It's a freaking kid, typical teenage kid. They're like, oh, but look at her tan skin. You see, it's like, still a baby. Typical 15-year-old kid. No doubt, no, nothing. Typical. I would see, like, if I would look at her as like, yeah, and thankfully she was next to an adult, so that makes it even more. And this thing is about a like joke kind of thing where they pretend that they're parents, so that's supposed to be her father, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's kid, 100%. In my mind's like, would you recognize her? Like, I'm seeing her right now as a kid, obvious. They're delusional trash to try to break you down into accepting this. To all my target individuals, stay strong. Know that these pedophilia things is what they're going to continuously do to people to break you down. Older teen, younger teen, babies, toddler, all that. This is what they do. Before that, I thought I saw a baby. They started giving me some nasty stimulation. It was so disgusting. Stay strong.
What I said, playing with my dog. Now that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them I usually called demeaning names, and one of of them is referring to homosexuals. For me, all of the slaves are misfits, society haters, scumbags, etc. No, I don't have anything personal against them, homosexuals, but as my way to aggravate the slaves, and since they love to use children for the torture and stalking, street theater etc. Especially teenagers for the stalking at close range with an attitude, they are using them during my sleep in the perversion program, and so you can imagine what the slaves of torture are pretending to do to me. In the last days, as today September 9th, '07, anything I do, either watching TV or reading of whatever I'm doing, they brush me sort of say, I feel like I'm aroused all day and I feel the palpitations in my genitals for what I'm thinking, and since the attack comes so quickly, I realized my programming has been set on auto, in their central computers, no handlers could do something like this that quick. What make me realized, the slaves are desperate to get me. Unfortunately for them, they are facing a strong wall where no matter how much their computers EAP me, I know I'm not changing. As I said, I feel like they've been set up a beam where I feel constantly stimulated. I'm talking sexually, like a heat in my genitalia, like getting aroused constantly, trying to make me feel uncomfortable, because it doesn't stop.
In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive and violent. The nature of the torture I have been experiencing has been highly sexual in nature and highly perverted, involving many combinations.
They're trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting, disgusting. Take this whole thing into account so much and make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things.
Often see highly disturbing pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close my eyes. It also includes videos. I can be free from this torture. Every day has been a miracle of survival. I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture.
Able to impose any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves. What I said, playing with my dog. Now that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today, they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use of people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them, I usually called demeaning names, and one of them is referring to homosexuals. For me, all of the slaves are misfits, society haters, scumbags, etc. No, I don't have anything personal against them, homosexuals, but as my way to aggravate the slaves, and since they love to use children for the torture and stalking, street theater etc. Especially teenagers for the stalking at close range with an attitude, they are using them during my sleep in the perversion program, and so you can imagine what the slaves of torture are pretending to do to me.
I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all my clients. In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind.